Let me tell you about this wild ride I went through last year. It's the kind of story that still gives me chills when I think back on it. I'm Ethan Brooks, 45 now, but back then, at 44, I was a wreck. My wife Mia had passed from leukemia 3 years earlier, and I just wrapped up a messy divorce from a rebound marriage that never should have happened. It left me with a fat settlement, more cash than I'd ever dreamed of, but what good is money when your world's fallen apart? I was holed up in this rundown motel in coastal Florida, staring at the walls, trying to figure out my next move. Grief does that to you. It fogs your brain, makes you question everything. That's when Vivian Caldwell slithered into my life like a shark smelling blood. She was 62, sharp as a tack, with eyes that could size you up in seconds. Used to be a big shot in corporate damage control, fixing scandals for Fortune 500 types, but now she was peddling high-end waterfront condos at her pet project, Riverside Retreat. It started with these relentless calls. "Mr. Brooks," she'd coo in that honeyed voice. "I hear you've had some tough breaks lately. A man of your means deserves a fresh chapter by the sea. Think of it as honoring Mia's love for ocean views." How the hell did she know Mia's name? Or that Mia dreamed of retiring somewhere with waves lapping at the door? Red flags everywhere. But I was too raw, too desperate for any shred of connection to her memory. I agreed to tour the place. Riverside was picture-perfect, gleaming towers, private docks, the Gulf sparkling like diamonds. But it felt off. Too many vacant units, and Vivian pushing hard, like her life depended on it. "This is my vision, Ethan. I built it from scratch. You could be in by Friday." When I asked for paperwork, financials, HOA docs, she dodged like a pro. "Let's focus on your new life here, by the water." Mia would have adored. My gut screamed scam, but grief whispered maybe this was fate. I said I'd think it over. Big mistake. That's when the nightmare kicked in. The next day, calls at dawn. Then she showed up at my motel, glossy brochures in hand, guilt-tripping me about supporting my dream community. She even mentioned these seashell charms Mia had collected for our future beach house, stuff I'd never shared. Creepy as hell. How? She dug deep. Public records, maybe bribed motel staff. Turned out, Vivian wasn't just selling, she was hunting. Targeting folks like Mua Dowd, divorced, loaded but broken. Her empire was sinking in debt, and she needed quick cash from suckers too hurt to fight. I dug back. Online forums lit up with horror stories. Families drained by hidden fees, fake assessments post-sale. One guy lost his retirement. A widow got slapped with $30,000 in emergency levies. Riverside wasn't paradise, it was a trap. I sent a polite rejection letter. Vivian exploded. Threats poured in. "You've committed to my project, back out and face the consequences." Her sleazy lawyer, Lawson, hit me with bogus suits claiming I'd signed binding prelims. Total BS, but they bet I'd cave. I didn't. See, I'd kept my past quiet. Retired early from law, specialized in nailing real estate crooks just like her. But Vivian upped the ante, weaponizing my pain. She knew about those seashells. Hell, she must have hacked my storage somehow, because one night, I found them smashed in the parking lot. Note attached. Unauthorized items violate HOA Code 7.4.1. Preview of life in my retreat. Rage boiled over. That was Mia's last gift, her hope for us. Vivian had crossed into monster territory. I went full throttle, documented every harassment, rallied victims, blasted exposés online. News outlets bit headlines, screamed predatory developer preys on the grieving. Vivian panicked, called the cops on me. "He's stalking my residence." Threatening violence over a deal gone sour. Officers Reynolds and Hayes rolled up, Vivian trailing with her fake tears and doctored emails. I stayed ice cool. "ID, sir?" Reynolds asked. I handed over my Florida bar card. He read it loud. "Ethan Brooks, attorney at law. Specialty, waterfront development fraud and consumer rights." Vivian snatched a peek. Her face, priceless, went from smug to sheer horror, like she'd seen her own grave. Color drained, hands shook, card dropped like it burned. "Why, you're the Ethan Brooks? The one who dismantles scams like mine." Bingo. Cops flipped the script. This wasn't harassment. It was me exposing fraud. Evidence poured out, her targeting widows with psych profiles, embezzling from profitable sites to fund flops. Even the Willow Creek mess, where she'd blocked lawyers sniffing fraud. Feds swooped. Wire fraud? elder abuse, identity theft. Vivian got 6 years, coughed up $450,000 in restitution from seized assets. Victims healed. I helped pass laws shielding the vulnerable. Me? I bought a quiet bungalow on a real bay, planted a garden with new seashells for Mia, adopted a lab named Scout. Fighting Vivian pulled me from the abyss. Now I consult on these cases, turning pain into purpose. But here's the twist that still haunts. Vivian didn't just pick me randomly. She'd studied grief like a science courses, Bookstow exploited. Targeted widowers at peak vulnerability, knowing when to dangle, honor your loved one bait. Was she a monster born or made? Could anyone snap like that under pressure? What do you think? Should developers like her get life sentences for emotional terrorism, or is it just cutthroat business? Drop your hot takes below. Was I a hero or vigilante? Would you fight back or pay up? Smash like if this fired you up, comment your verdict, and subscribe for more real-life thrillers that expose the dark side.